7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
International superstar, Miss Mother B. Rocker.
You are now tuned in to Butter B Rocker on Transparency Talks Podcast. Welcome to Transparency Talks Podcast. Hello, everybody. Today is a beautiful day. It is nice outside. The sun is shining and you are alive. So it's always a great day to be on this side of the world. Or you know what I mean. But anyway, I want to make sure that you guys are doing everything possible to stay safe. Make sure that you are washing your hands. Make sure that you are wearing your mask. Make sure that you are being safe, not only for yourself, but for others. Also, do things to elevate your mind. Go for walks. Be creative. Do whatever you need to do to be in a creative place and space. But that brings me to, sometimes we are so focused on the big things that we don't recognize all of the small milestones that we have accomplished. We look at people on social media and people are doing things that we want to do and we feel like we're not there, and we don't sit back and smell the roses and see all of the things that you have accomplished. I personally have an achievement book that I wrote myself. Every time I get up in the morning, I write down all the things that I have accomplished. And when I'm feeling down, I go back and I look at that. It helps me motivate my own self and say, you know what? I'm not in a bad shape. I'm much farther than where I was. I might not be at my overall goal, because I think that you're never going to be at your overall goal, because you were born to not be stagnant. You're born to continue to grow and grow and grow. So once you hit one milestone, you're going to have another desire or something else that you're going to want to do. So it's good to have those feelings. Go for the big things and you'll eventually get there. But even if you don't, you've come much farther than where you were. You learned lessons along the way and you're much farther than where you were. So embrace all of your small steps and milestones and recognize that they are big accomplishments. They're just smaller accomplishments. Anyway, without further ado, I would like to bring on Mr. Damon Thomas. He is a father, an author, a TV host, a motivational speaker, and the creator of Men of Courage Show. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. Let me put your overlay on so you can be proper with it. Hold up. Hold up. All right. Now we're right. So can you give everybody a little bit of background about yourself?
Yes. I am Damon Thomas. I am, like she said, I'm first to father. I'm a father first. I am a ghostwriter, director, producer. I am the creator of the Men of Courage Show. My passion has always been writing, and always had a passion for helping young boys and men all over the world that are dealing with trauma.
Okay. So let's dive back. How did you come into this passion of yours? Helping other men?
Personal experiences. At the age of 6 and 9, I was sexually molested by 2 older women. And then my first marriage of 15 and a half years, the latter 3 years, went through a lot of domestic violence, physical, emotional, and mental. During that time, I did divorce. And I decided at that point, I needed to get Damon fixed. What I mean by that, I was broken. I was still dealing with the pain from the divorce. I never wanted the divorce first, but at the end of the day, I had to worry about myself and my children. I had 2 daughters at the time. They were 3 and 9. And I said, I got to get Damon right. I never seek therapy. Writing was my scapegoat to heal. Just writing, sitting down, writing. And once I got past of the hurting process, I decided to get educated, get certified, and later went out to LA to learn this industry, and then formed a team of doctors and counselors all over the world, not just in Atlanta, to partner with me for Men of Courage. And right now we're 10 years in, and I provide services to young boys and men from age 5 to 65 at no cost.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So six through age 9 being abused.
Yes.
I'm going to assume this was somebody that was close, because at 6 and 9, you usually around more family members or somebody that the parents would trust more than anything.
Correct. They were very close to me. Yes. Yes, cousin and a babysitter.
Oh wow. I'm very sorry to hear that. So, this really touches to me, because a lot of young men, especially men, they're usually silenced. Why do you think that they don't like to tell someone what's going on? I've heard a few things, that some men find that if they speak out, it's a sign of them being weak. I've heard a couple of things. So why do you think that people don't speak out, and especially younger kids right now?
From experience, from my own experience, and also just being in this field for so long, it's the when you're dealing with the younger kids, it's the shame, not knowing where to turn to. You don't want to go to your parents because is repercussion on the other person. You don't know what that other person, the perpetrator said. You know what? If you tell, this is what's going to happen. So that's where I have seen in the younger kids, the younger males. I'm sorry, but when we get into the high school males and then your adults, is the ego thing. We were raised as little boys, suck it up, don't cry, man up, and it's one of them things. At the end of the day, it's an ego thing. Also, it's a financial thing. Your men feel as though they don't have the resources to get help. And that's why I formed the Men of Courage Show. I want these men to understand that leave the ego at the door. There's no judgment here on the Men of Courage Show. And I don't want any male in the globe to worry about the financial piece. I don't. And that's one of the biggest things. I don't have the money. That's why I formed the Men of Courage Show.
Yeah. Do abusers show any potential warning signs?
Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. You have the younger ones, they will hide. They will and like for myself, I just continue to do a lot of reading in elementary school. Get when it's time to go to the library, my class, I would get all these books on diseases. And here I am, so I'll be outside running around playing football. Here I am digesting myself with books about sex, because I'm like, okay, I know this is not supposed to be happening, but I need to read up on this and see what's going on here. So there were no signs with me. I come from an awesome 2-parent home. I had 2 fathers. I had a stepfather who raised me, and then I have a biological father. My dad background was he's retired as a warden in the penitentiary, and my mom background was mental health. So we discussed everything. We had weekly meetings, but that is one component of my life I could never discuss with them that happened to me. So they didn't find out until 2012 when I did my first book, Love and Pain.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Wow. So why do victims sometimes stay or return to the abuser? Stay with the abuser or return back to them?
Familiarity. They're familiar with it. They've been getting away with it for so long. It's like you're getting up every day. You're going to work. You're brushing teeth. It's familiarity for them. First you want to gain trust with that person, and that's what they do. I'm friends with you. I'm friends with your family. Don't ever tell no one if you're going to get in trouble. So it's a lot of manipulation, And like I said, there were plenty of times where I could have came forward, but I was afraid. I was afraid. I was truly afraid, and I was shocked that this was even happening. 6 and 9, like, whoa, what in the world is going on here?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Do you think it's possible for the actual abuser to change?
Of course. Yes. Most definitely.
So, in your opinion, can domestic violence be prevented?
Ooh, that's an awesome question. I would say the only way that it can be prevented if you're walking out that door every time it comes up. You get into altercation with your significant other, you already know what's about to happen. You get out the door. And that's something my dad has always told me. Don't put your hand on a young lady. You get in your car, you diffuse the situation, you get out of there. So that's the only way I see it. But in my situation, it was very difficult. She was one of the ones, oh, you want to talk to me? You're not going anywhere. She go to the door, block the door. And I could have pushed her away, but why? That was going to make things even worse. So, like I said, it wasn't all bad, 15 and a half years, but the latter 3 got to be very, very toxic. And I didn't want that for my 3 and 9-year-old. I didn't want that for them.
Yeah. Yeah. Why is it important for men to normalize feeling vulnerable?
Ooh, good question. Good question. Oh, that's a good question. My take on that is the thing about it is we have to learn to stop suffering in silence. We really do. It's not a sign of weakness at all. And that's something that um, I discuss through my program and my therapist all the time with these men. It's not a sign of vulnerability if you want to speak up and get the help that you need. And that's the problem with our men is that stigma, but no, there's nothing wrong with that. You're not a weak man. You're not a sissy. You want to acknowledge that you need help. You're going through some stuff. You need to talk to someone.
Yeah. Yeah.
We cry, we hurt, we go through the pain too, like women and everybody else.
Mm-hmm. What do you think is the most powerful reason why people should share their voice and their opinions with others about what's going on?
I believe it'll help you as an individual. It'll help you kind of get to where you need to be is a stepping stone. And then number 2, you can be an inspiration to so many other people out there who are going through the same thing. And they may be listening to a story, an interview that you on a podcast. Says, wait a minute, I remember watching that. I want to reach out. How can I reach out and get help? If he can get the help, if he spoke about it, why can't I? So it's very important. I encourage men across the globe. We have to talk about this thing. We have to. There's no more pushing under the rug. We don't want to talk about it. And that's the biggest thing in our community is back in the day, and even some now. But I don't believe in it. And I will break it down. I hate to hear, be quiet, don't say nothing. Grandfather did this when Auntie Sue and all this stuff. And I don't believe in it. We have to talk about it. And that's why you have so many people that's broken down and going through so much turmoil. And then they can't even raise their own children because they're still dealing with their trauma from when they were young.
Mm-hmm. Very true. Mm-hmm. So do you look at your past negative experiences the same way and how they shaped you into who you are today?
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. I don't believe I would be doing what I'm doing today if it wasn't for my personal experiences. No doubt about it. I didn't really, this was not my plan at all. This was not my plan. I knew at the age of 31, this is 32, this is what I wanted to do. And I'll be 53 October. So this is what I wanted to do when I got to be about 31, 32. But if it wasn't for the sexual molestation and the domestic violence, I'm almost sure I would not be doing this at all. No.
Mm-hmm. And how do you touched on it a little bit, but how do you think it does affect marriages, especially having kids and everything, seeing this?
Oh man, I had to get my kids therapy at 3 and 9 because of what had happened. I wanted my kids to have the proper tools to grow up to be young ladies and get a fair shot, not because of what their mom and dad went through. It's very imperative that if you're going through this as a couple, you don't want your kids to see this. You really don't. It's traumatizing. It leaves a scar. It's been proven, and you have to get your children help. I don't believe in staying in a marriage for the kids, and that's something that I did for a very long time. I do regret that, but at the end of the day, I have wonderful daughters. Like I said, 25 and 19, they're doing very well. They remember the therapy that they had to go through at 3 and 9, but we owe that to our kids. Whatever we're going through is not, they didn't ask to be here. So we have to set them up. We cannot set our kids up for failure. We cannot.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So with the pandemic, how do you feel like most men were dealing with it mentally and emotionally? Because a lot of people had to stick it out and stay in those situations. And I believe there was an even higher rate of abuse going on, especially when COVID first hit.
Oh, definitely. The phones, the men of courage submissions skyrocketed when the pandemic hit. And even so now we're in the second surge right now. I mean, it's off the chain because, as men, we are quote unquote set up to say, you're the man, you need to go out there and provide, this needs to take place. And then things start closing down. You don't have that income anymore. It's frustrating. A lot of men can't deal with that. There have been a lot of arguments within the home that we've gotten calls about domestic violence issues where we had to step in and offer therapy because it got that bad in the household. I mean, it's off and it's still bad. It's still bad. I have more men reach out to me since the pandemic versus the past 5 years. It's been nonstop, and there's a lot of depression. A lot of men are going through a lot of depression. We used to making this kind of money, and then now we down here. How do you juggle? And a lot of men just can't cope with it.
Yeah.
They can't.
Yeah. Yeah. I can relate to the depression part of it. I wasn't abused in any form, but I'm saying people do go through depression, and
Yes.
then with COVID being on top of that and not having the same things that you used to have, feeling less than and all this type of stuff, you can definitely get into the depression stage and everything.
Then you're looking around at your significant other picking a fight and arguing another. It's hard. It's very difficult. It's very difficult. So we've seen a significant increase in therapy for men since the pandemic, most definitely.
Mm-hmm. So tell me about your show, Men of Courage.
Okay, Men of Courage is a platform to where I interview men all over the world. We focus on the trauma, the abuse, the depression, the suicide, sexual identity issues. But we also like to talk about triumphs, men, what they have done. We have a lot of men who worked awesome jobs and was in a bad car accident, paralyzed, but now they don't want. So we don't want to just always stick with the trauma. We like to see our men do well. Mm-hmm. So basically, men, they submit their story to me. I sit down, I go through them with my team, and we kind of decipher which show we're going to do pertaining to the topic, and if they need therapy after the interview, we go ahead and provide that no matter which city they live in. We are in a process. We're on a 4-city tour. I didn't ask to do this. It wasn't in the plans. About 45 days ago, I was asked to do 4 cities. So here we are doing Memphis. We got Miami this month. We're doing California, and we're doing St. Louis. And these are basically going to these cities, sitting down with 2 men. They don't have to necessarily be from that city. I'll either bring them in or they come from that city. They'll share their story live with a live audience. We will be streaming it, just talking about their issues. If it's porn addiction, we get to the tough stuff. If it's masturbation addiction, or we get down and we get the help that they need. So that's the platform. Do the show. We sit down with them, do the interview. Then we offer comprehensive counseling after the show. And we follow these men for the next 3 or 4 years. We don't just provide the therapy and, okay, bye, you done. No, we have a team that actually is responsible for just following them after the therapy, make sure they're okay. And then what I do is when I do go out and tour, depending on the topic in that city, I'll bring guys out to tell their testimony of what they've been through and how was their experiences going through the Men of Courage program. Wow. Okay. And we are in the process of pitching it to network. I'm going to say it, and I'm speaking it. We're about to be filming actually next month for that. So I'm excited.
Well, we're going to speak that thing into existence.
That's right, brother. You said it.
Yeah, that's real cool. So your company offers counseling.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I have an agreement with all my therapists. We're in London as well. We have a therapist over in London. So this thing is huge. It to me is just all about giving back to me what I've been through. I'm in 2 elementary schools here as well, dealing with kids. My goal is next year to be in as many high schools across the globe as possible, not just here. I'm all over, and where help needs, I'm going to be there. It's just until the day God called me home. This is what I eat, sleep, and dream. And these men, we got to get it together. We got to get it together. It's resources out there, and I know it's hard, But Men of Courage is that program that can help you. We have a 98% success rate. So those men that reach out, 98% of them we do help. The other 2%, they be like, "Oh, I didn't know this program was this serious." I said, "Hey, the door is always open. You can call us back 2-3 months, but I don't pressure anyone at all. When you're ready, you're ready."
Mm-hmm. And how do you know when you're ready?
My thing is, when you have first acknowledged that you need help, number one. Number two, you have committed to so many counseling sessions a month, and you have fulfilled those obligations. I get a report every 30 days of every client that comes through my program to see where everyone's at. And I tell them to waste my time. If I'm going to make sure your therapy is paid for, don't waste my time. And I will probably say, since I've been doing this, it's probably been about 3 guys that has really kind of drifted away. But that's awesome. That's still awesome. 3 out of, we've been doing this for 10 years. And I get it. This program is nothing to play with. We're not going to come to your house and pick you up. I don't believe in that. You have to. We are doing a Zoom with you with the pandemic. We're gonna make it as comfortable as possible for you. Some of them we do bring in that needs to be that face one-on-one, but for the most part with the pandemic, we do like your platform, what we're doing right now. And I make sure they get the therapy set up. Is their availability, and like I said, I get an email as soon as they miss a session, and I'm like, "What's going on? What happened?" So, but I love it. Like I said, I wouldn't trade it for the world. I love to see our men happy and getting over what they've been dealing with for years. You have a lot of men who've been, this stuff is festering them since they were in elementary school. Yeah. And wives reach out. I mean, this platform, women, I didn't know my husband was struggling with sexual identity. I'm just finding out after 10 years. What? I didn't know he was sexually molested when he was a little boy. So we get it all, but we get it all. There's nothing I haven't seen. Nothing.
So do you help? So in that instance where you said the women was like, I didn't even know this was going on with my husband, do you offer counseling for them as well to help them? Do they eventually come into the scene of the counseling session to deal with that as well?
Most definitely. And that's very important, because I tell people, let's say, for instance, we have a guy that's dealing with substance abuse. That wife or that sister who's dealing with him, they have to be a part of this because they deal with him every day. So of course we bring them in and we do provide services to them as well. We do. Although it's Men of Courage show, and we had a meeting about this last week. I have 2 females actually. I have a 41-year-old and I have a 9-year-old that's in the program now. So my team says, so what are we going to do? I know you're not going to change the brand. It's still Men of Courage. So what do we do? So now we're thinking of how to expand and say, the Men of Courage show presents. We're still trying to figure out present what, because I don't like to turn anyone away. You know, although it's a show and everybody say it's always stuff for the women, Damon, you're doing the right thing. But when I see these cases come through, but it's like 9-year-old on a virtual call, slitting her wrist in school. No. I'm not turning 9-year-old. I'm not doing that. So that's what we're trying to figure out. How do we incorporate now? We have 2 ladies and the submissions are coming in for females. What do we do now? So that's something you might want to help with. Men of Courage show presents what? Because we stuck. It's gonna be. So yeah, that's what we're working on now. Yeah.
Got you. And I saw on your site that you have a team of co-hosts that are part of your show. So does everyone bring different perspective to the show, and does everyone have their own shows? Like, how does that work?
No. We do the same show, and basically moving forward, we are going to get back together because if you notice lately, it's just been just me. So we're working on now a plan of action to get the guys back together. They're awesome. And it's a you know, we sit down, we interview the 2 guys, and everyone is responsible for their lane, what they're going to cover in that particular interview. And I tell you what, them guys, wait till you guys see them unfold. They are awesome. All of them. And they all have something to bring to the table. And I chose these men for several reasons. And it was very difficult because I had a lot of people reach out wanting to be a part of this. But at the end of the day, we're responsible for saving lives. So I had to make sure that we're dealing with the team is qualified to do what we're asked to do. Okay. We're backed by licensed therapists all over the world and here in Atlanta. But as far as the host, I had to make sure my guys was ready to go and they had what can they bring to the table. So I'm very excited for what you guys are about to see with the whole team in action. I'm really excited. And I got some heavy hitters. Karan, John Palomino, Dr. Leon and Callie, they all have something to bring to the table. Awesome young men. Awesome.
That's really cool. So tell us about your books.
Ooh, Love and Pain was the first one. Like I said, it came out in 2012. I was very scared. I was scared to write that, but I had to again unfold what really happened to Damon at the young age, and then the marriages and all the dating I did after my marriage. Um, Love and Pain. I talked about all my love. I talked about the pain I went through in relationships. Um, that will always be my baby because that was the first one, and I had a chance to really explain really what happened to Damon
Mm-hmm.
in detail. There's nothing is left out in that Love and Pain book. It's a short book, but I got a lot in there. The divorce was the hardest chapter to write because again, I didn't want the divorce, so it was a very difficult chapter to write. Exposed is a book that I finished. It's been out a year now. Actually, today we were just the female that collaborated with me. I got a phone call. We were just asked to bring the book. They selected our book, Exposed. It's an erotic book, to downtown Atlantic Station, their book boutique. They want to sell it out of there. And then I got calls from LA. I got to meet people out there. They want Exposed in the beauty shops out there. And Exposed is 8 short stories of erotic stories. And I've been asked to write erotica for the past 8 years. I just haven't had time. And I used to do it years ago, but I got out of it. And I said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to get it. And we knocked it out. And, we just did a tour in Memphis, 4 months ago for that book. It's doing very, very well. So, of course, we're going to Miami end of this month. We're doing it in the church, Minicur, so we can't bring Exposed there. But it's good. I'll make sure you get a copy. I'm going to send you a copy.
Okay.
I will definitely send you a copy. That was a shocker. It was easy to write because I love that type of writing, but I didn't expect to do it then because I was just so busy. But I was like, I'm gonna do it. And then, like I said, the person I asked to do it, I said, I called her, I said, I want you to do this project with me. She said, I most certainly will not. I said, okay. A week later, went by her house. She had already started writing. So we're just bouncing off chapter by chapter. I was like, you got all that done? I said, I thought you didn't want to do it. She said, I had to do this. Now she's like, when are we going to do part 2? I said, nope, I don't have time. But I'm excited. So those are 2 books. I also ghostwrite for a lot of people. I probably have 13, 14 books out now that I've written for other people. I'm doing 3 right now. And as we speak, I just love to bring people's story to the forefront. As you know, I can't wait to start working with our buddy, Mr. Tony Terry. We got a project coming up. It's going to be awesome.
Cool.
I'm excited.
But how do you go from that's 2 extremes, you know?
But you gotta understand the writing piece was there all along. And then the pain falls into trauma with the Minicur's therapy. So they're different, but they kind of go hand in hand. Now the erotica piece, that's a piece I didn't want too many people to know about me, because people start looking at you crazy. Well, how do you want to do therapy for men and young kids all day long, but then you out here writing erotic? And I'm like,
you got a wild side.
Right. So you got to be careful. People start to look at you different. You know how it is. You're under a microscope every day. Let's figure out what Damon doing today, or where is he at? If he walking into this liquor store today, you're under a microscope every day. It doesn't bother me at all. I live a good, honest, simple life. I really do.
Yeah. So one thing that you were saying that, when you first wrote your first book, how it was therapeutic for you. I found that writing my first book was definitely therapeutic. I was scared to tell my story, and I was super vulnerable about everything that was going on in my life and about my divorce and everything. But I found that once I actually told it, I was free. Is that how you felt when you did your first book?
Ooh, yes, I felt a lot of weight was lifted off my shoulders. Mm-hmm. And then when I actually did the book signing in Florida, that thing was amazing. Mm-hmm. It was standing room on. I said it was off the chain. I did not expect that type of support from Love and Pain. I really, really didn't. Once I did it, I was like, and it was exhausting too, because you're thinking you don't want to miss anything, but you don't want to throw anybody under the bus. You want to be respectful, but you want to get your point across. And I got a phone call from my first wife. She said, "Oh, I will sue you." I said, "Come on." I said, your name is in there, and come on, let's go to court. Come on. I said, it's facts, which you've done. But it was serious. It wasn't my story. I took it very seriously. I lived it. I went through the pain every day for years.
Mm-hmm.
So don't tell me what I can't write. So no. But it was very therapeutic. And when I started the Minute Coverage Program, the first thing my team said to me all over the world, they said, have you ever had therapy? And I said, never. They said, well, Damon, my door is always open. I said, I know. But that writing down, if I didn't have the writing piece,
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah, I would have been sitting down with them. There is no doubt. What I've been through, there is no way I could have got the writing was very, very therapeutic for me. Very, very.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit more about your tour,
Okay.
Breaking the Silence. How did you come up with that title?
Men, because you got to think, majority of our men, we don't like to talk about things. So I want to break this silence. This is what this tour is all about. This is what Men of Courage is all about. Breaking the silence. Men, we have to talk about this. And I challenge these men every day. How can we be a positive role model in our community for one? How can we be a good role model for our significant other, our children, if we're still living in silence? I didn't want to continue walking around and raising beautiful daughters, and here I am still dealing with the sexual molestation trauma, still dealing with the divorce pain. I didn't want that. I had to get free of it and get past that so I can be a better person for not just me, but for my kids. And breaking the silence again. We have to get out of that stigma of, oh, we don't want to talk about it. It'll be okay. We'll heal. No, we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about any man that comes through me. Oh, we're going to talk about it, and I'm going to get you the help that you need. And you want to be a better person for your significant. You want to walk through your door. Of course, every relationship have their ups and downs. That's normal. But as far as our past and what we're going through, we got to break the silence. We got to break the silence. And I love it. And my high is when they're finished the program, they have moved on, they're torn with me, they're telling their story. That's my high. That's when I get my high and say, you know what? We've done our job. We've done our job.
How long is the program? Is your program?
Is as long as they need. I don't sit there and say, okay, you only allow 3 sessions per month. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. So like I said, I work very closely with my therapist. So I know what's going on with every client. Like I said, I get a report every 30 days of what's going on with them. So I know what's going on with them. And I'll call them too, and I have a conversation. And they'd be like, well, how did you know that? I said, what do you mean? This is my program. What do you mean? How do I know? But I have a good relationship with all of them. And the thing is, I had to learn is you have to, with anything of this magnitude, you have to be able to separate it, because a lot of them want to become your friend. And then they know, being in the industry, you're filming, you're directing, you're doing this, you're a performer. They want to be close. Gotta set the, no, we can't do that. And I learned that early on before I even got in this industry, even working the Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 in management my whole life. You have to be able to separate. And a lot of people, even back then when I was working 9 to 5, they said, you're not coming out with us and party with us. I'm in management. I cannot party with you. I learned then you got to separate. I love it. I seen hello, how you doing? But you can't, you just can't mix it. You got to be very, very careful. But that would definitely come back and bite you. It would definitely come back and bite you.
Okay. So when do you know that they're done with the program?
How do I know when they're done with the program? Once when I get a message in a meeting with that therapist, and I'm told that they are at the end, they have 2 more sessions left, they're doing very well, they've come a long way. That's when I know. And then I'm getting a report every 30 days as well. So it's the stages of the therapy. 1, 2, 3, final. Then we have some to where we do the therapy and we have to raise the bar and say, okay, no, let's say substance abuse. Okay, it's time for now. I got to place you in an inpatient facility for 30 days. The therapy piece is not going the way we want it to go. We need to step it up. We need to put you on inpatient. And we work with them, because a lot of them work. So we do it to where we split them up, where let's say they may want to go, we may set them up for 9 to 3 in an inpatient facility where they can still do their job and change their schedule or vice versa. So it works out. And the most important thing, you got to listen to them, because it's them that they're going through the therapy. You can't just say, okay, oh, you definitely need to go and you're going to go on this date. No, because a lot of them have families. They have to make preparations. So it's very important that you sit down and you listen to what they have to say as well. Because at the end of the day, it's their life. And you don't want to push them away. You've gotten so far with them. You don't want to get to the end and they're like, oh, I'm not doing this last part. I'm not going inpatient. So, and I love it when they're done and they reach that plateau and they healed and they tell you they healed. And then they say, next year, Mr. Damon, I'm ready to go on tour with you. I'm ready to tell my story. I want to help other men. And I can just sit back and say, yes, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
So then do you become friends with them?
Yes, I do. Good question, but that's a good. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. We'll go out. We'll have lunch. Yes, I do. I do. That's what I do. I really do. Yeah.
Got you.
Good question. I like that.
So who should attend your tour?
Who should come out and attend it? Everybody from all walks of life, men and women. And it was a miscommunication for Miami. A lot of people thought it was just for men. I said, no. It's open for ladies as well. Like I said, we have it out, the flyer out and everything, the Eventbrite information. Those who cannot attend these live in person, you can still go on, purchase your tickets. I'll make sure you get your code, and you can go ahead and still be able to see the interview live in every city. And let me tell you something, it's going to be off the chain. I can't wait for Memphis. I'm ready for Cali. We got some stories, some people that that's gonna have your head standing up. Trust me. It's some men out here that have some stories that you be like, they be running around here on this stage singing about, and you didn't never knew they were going through this. Actors out here doing the best of everything, and they're struggling. So when you get that phone call, like I said, it's no judgment. I don't look at their titles. I don't look at their names. Okay, I thank you. You acknowledge you need help. Let's get moving. Especially those suicide ones. Oh, my 9-year-old is about to commit suicide. The school called me. They dumped 4 or 5 cases on me at one time. You got to start right away. You can't wait for those kind of cases. So so the tour is going to be very interesting. Very interesting. Then I'm going to be sharing about a documentary I'm writing for a client who's in the program right now. We're filming his story right now. We're going to be showing you guys as they're going through the withdrawal, the shakes, everything. So we're filming that documentary, and we're going to do some premieres in November in a couple cities. Atlanta, of course, is going to be one of them. I didn't expect that when it was put on me 3 weeks ago. So I'm doing that now. So I like to show the therapy piece when it occurs through film as well. It's very important because everything is visual today. Nobody want to just read. They want to see the action. So that's going to be off the chain. That's going to be good. That's going to be good.
How do you balance everything that you're doing right now? Because
listen, it's the great Scott. People ask me that every day. And then for the past 16 months, I have my mom. She's from Florida, but she had a major stroke. So I had to go get her 16 months ago, bring her. She's with me. I'm with her 24/7. She had a major stroke. And it's like, I ask myself every day too, how do you do? And I'm just like, I have a schedule. I know this has to be done. Laundry day this day. You got these appointments this day. You have to get ready for filming. You are writing these 3 books. You're doing your show. I just learned to do it. I don't have a choice, to be honest. And you know how some people where when they retire, that's all they know is work, and their life, their health start declining. If I had to stop all of this, I would decline. This is what I love.
Yeah, I understand that.
So it's just in the team. I mean, I don't do this by myself. I have an awesome team all the way around across the globe, not just here. My team is in Atlanta, they're in Cali. So we all come together and we make it help work. But I'm a hands-on dude. I got it. My hands. I don't micromanage at all. I don't believe in it, but it's my responsibility. My name is attached to it. It has to be right. So I just have to learn to balance more the past year and a half since my mother been here. I had to, it's like, really. So every 3 months, I try to get away for at least 2 or 3 days to kind of woosah, because it does get crazy. All 3 phones are ringing at the same time. What do you do? Sundays, anybody who know me, don't call my phone on Sundays unless it's emergency. Sunday to me is my only day off where I get to chill out, have my wine, chill out, and do what I want to do. Sunday's my only day. So don't call my phone on a Sunday.
Call me on Sunday.
Sunday to me is family day and chill day. That's what I like about Sundays. I look forward to that Sunday too. So that's how, I had to learn to balance, look at you, mother, performer, you have your show, you all look. So we learn to adjust. It's not easy. It's not easy, but it's all I know right now. For the past 10, 11 years, this is all I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do have a question, and we had already talked about, of course, the Men of Courage, but how did you? Okay, you started it over 10 years ago. You started getting different doctors and counselors to start working with you. How did you get them? You come up with your idea and get them to say, you know what, I believe in what you're doing. Let me join on.
How did I do that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what I did, I picked probably like four to six therapists out of each city. I'll get up one day and I'll say, I'm gonna start with Denver, Colorado. Next day, I'm gonna start with New York. And I'll just go through a database of therapists all over the world. And I go through that New York and I look at their profile. And if I get a good feel and do my team does the research, Damon, this one is right, you're good. So I get on the phone with them, let them know about me. I send them my information. 9 times out of 10, they come back, I want a partner. I need to be a part of this. I love what you're doing. There's probably 2 people that said, I'm busy, I can't do it. Other than that, like I said, London, they're involved in it. They love the program. They see it works. They stand behind me 100%. And I have an agreement with them. I have an agreement with all therapists that have partnered with me to the financial piece. How much do you pay them? How many people do you send them? And I love it. And that's something I got to do next week. I got to get back on the horn. I need more therapists.
Mm-hmm.
I need more. Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're also a motivational speaker. When did that aspect of your career start?
I would say the last 6 years, because I realized just doing the writing, the filming, the therapy piece, people need to not just see you behind the scenes. You need to be out there talking about what you're doing and what your purpose is. So that's how the motivational speaking came about.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is next for the Men of Courage show? What's next for you?
Ooh, what is next? What is next is, like I mentioned earlier, we're working on the documentary. We'll be done filming that next month. We're going to be doing, I have 10 more episodes to shoot for a project called Love at What Cost. A young lady, she's in Florida. We did one of them last year and a half ago. So she asked me to do 10 more. So we're going to be filming 10 more episodes of her concept. We're going to continue with this tour until this pandemic start closing us down again. I'm going to still keep it safe, social distance, keeping it private, everybody temperature check. I will continue writing to the day I die. I keep saying every year, I'm going to stop. I'm going to do one more book. And then here go the phone and my team looking like Damon, you're not going to start writing. But it's a lot. The writing takes a lot of my time because I'm on the phone. I'm writing, I'm recording them, and then I'm getting it in book form. I send it to my editor. We get started on it. So that's a lot of my time to writing. That's why I wanted to get away from it for a year, but it's not going to happen. So the tour, the documentary, more writing. I definitely want to do more filming. Men of Courage is not going anywhere. The tour isn't going anywhere. The therapy is always going to be there. But I want to get back into more of the filming. And my thing is I cover hard, compelling stories like the men, what they're going through, the divorce, the substance abuse, the sexual abuse. So those are kind of stories I love to write, produce, and direct and cast for. But I've turned a lot of people down. They've called me, I need you to help me cast. I'm a casting beast, but I'll cast you out of this world. I know the folks. You give me the storyline, I can get it. But I want to get back into that again. But that's what's next for Damon. I will be in Africa next year, working with young boys and men in Africa. I'll be doing that. That's on the list. I was asked to do that, so I'm definitely going to be out there next year. And that's what's going on. And in between here, I know it's going to be more things. I will definitely keep you guys abreast. I will definitely keep you abreast, but it doesn't stop. It's every day is something different.
And they can find all of your information and schedule on menofcourageshow.com.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yep. Yes.
So
excuse me.
Drop again where your next tour is going to be.
Next tour will be in Miami. It will be in Miami. We will be there August 27th. It'll be a 7:00 show. All the information is on Facebook. The Eventbrite is there. Please. I know a lot of people cannot make it there physically, but please purchase your tickets. All proceeds does go to the Men of Courage show, so we can continue providing services to these young boys and men across the globe at no cost. Everyone knows someone, a brother, sister, cousin, friend that needs this program. So that's where all the proceeds go. I believe in this. Of course, I believed in it for the past 10, 11 years, and I will continue providing services at no cost to these young boys and men across the globe. After that, September 18th, we will be in Memphis tour, and then October we will be out in Cali, and then November we will be in St. Louis. Okay, and after that, I will keep you guys abreast of what's next. But be watching in any way you want to support. If you want to sponsor, if you want a partnership, let us know. Let us know.
Okay. Well, we did have a couple of questions. Terrence says, do you feel that men are embarrassed to commit to therapy?
Mr. Terrence, most definitely. They are very, yes, that's that ego thing again that we discussed earlier. And what I've learned also is the fact that that's all they know is to be afraid. They weren't taught any other way, and then they feel as though, oh, their story is going to be out. And my thing is, I can give you therapy. We can provide therapy. It doesn't have to be, I don't have to do a show with you. I don't believe in throwing anybody on the cameras that they're not ready. So that's not what the Men of Courage is all about. No, it's about getting you where you need to be, and that can be it, But a lot of guys, they want to be out on it. They want to tell their story. But I don't put anyone in front of the cameras unless I see that they're ready. You know what I mean? But yeah, they're embarrassed. A lot of men, they're embarrassed. I hear it every day. They're embarrassed. And I tell them, you don't have to be embarrassed. I know it's difficult because that's what we're taught, but they're embarrassed. I tell you what, we form an awesome safety net for men. That's why a lot of people say, how do you get these guys to talk? After the second conversation, they're like, Mr. Damon, I want this program. Because I let them know, we don't judge here. And I tell them, once I tell them what I've been through, I didn't have the resources back then. I'm 6 and 9. Then I'm going through the first divorce at 32. I didn't have the resources. Maybe I didn't, but I didn't know where to go. So I just sat in my house and just been writing ever since. But there are resources out there. Men of Courage, I guarantee you, I challenge you, man, please reach out to us. We will change your life.
Okay, we have one more question.
Okay.
Lundy says, how do you convince the alpha male that therapy is okay?
Okay, again, I let them know that there is no judgment here. We are here to help you. Our main concern is you. And I tell them to give us time and we will prove to you that therapy is for you. Guarantee you. Good question. Good question.
Well said. Well said. Well, I would like to thank you for shedding some light on some things that I personally didn't know. And I'm sure a lot of our listeners did not know, because men are more silent than women are in abuse and talking about it and everything. And it's encouraging to have a company like yourself, Men of Courage show, that talks about this stuff and brings it to light to help other people. So I applaud you and would like to thank you for being a part of my show.
Thank you always. I appreciate you. Keep up your good work. Anywhere I can support, let me know. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
Thank you. With that being said, we are out of here, Facebook and YouTube. We'll talk to you guys later.
Bye. Take care.